Here we go.
Hello there, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Maryelizabeth Variety Hour, starring KAYE LAZAR.
Starring. Wait, my name's not in the title. It's you. It's the Mary Elizabeth is starring. I'm just carrying her pomegranate juice or whatever she's drinking right now. Real health nut. Okay. Oh no. Oh gosh. I just brushed my teeth and put mouthwash in, and I drink the juice and it tastes awful. I should have waited for my mouth to get acclimated to regular breath. So, but it's great. It's great to be here at the Mary Elizabeth Studios. Now, so tell me what's been going on.
I've been doing this new show, working on this new show at John Tyler Community College called Stories of the Pandemic.
What? It was written in 100 years ago in 1918. No.
No, well,
Or
our
what's it
past.
about? Tell me what it's about.
It's about like different things that went on this past year.
Ah, as
Like,
modern as it gets.
yeah, the pandemic,
Yeah.
the quarantine,
Yeah.
and the protests, and all
Oh
that.
wow. 2020 is
Yeah,
a year like no other.
it was a weird year too,
Yeah.
but I'm still surviving. So
We're still here. We're still here.
yeah,
And
that's
we're going to
good.
put this on the internet, so it'll be running in perpetuity. So people, um, 3 weeks from now will see it and say, "Wow, that what a time that was, October 2020, pre-Halloween."
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Every day is Halloween in 2020. All
right,
the
right,
all the monsters,
right.
all the overeating of candy, all the crazy clothes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so now this show you do you play the mother. You play the little girl.
We're actually an ensemble. All of us are
Okay.
ensemble in the cast. So,
Hmm.
and we're creating the story to the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like pre-scripted, but we're creating the script.
Oh, you're like improvising,
Yes,
and then that becomes the script, and then
yes,
you follow the script. Yeah, I've
yes,
done that
yes,
before. That's the best way to do anything.
yes, yeah. And it's a
Don't have to.
college, so
Yeah.
I'm learning more.
Okay.
Even though I've been on stage all my life, but I haven't really actually helped create a
That's true.
actual show. So
Yeah.
this is like my first time ever
Okay.
doing that.
What you probably contributed quite a bit to this show already. What thing, like, tell me an example what you improvised that says, "Hey, we like that, Mary."
Yes, yes.
What was it?
We at first we did video auditions,
Hmm.
and then about a week later, we all got picked for it. I got picked, and some
Yeah.
other castmates got picked as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the first show I've done for John Tyler Community College.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, I was really happy about that because it's a professional theater, and
Yes. John Tyler, our
yeah,
accidental president.
right,
He became president a month into William Henry Harrison's
right,
presidency.
yeah,
He was 66 years old, old Tippy Canoe, and what happened was he made this speech in like a in a snowstorm, I think.
right,
And then and those they didn't have, just like today, didn't have vaccines or antibiotics or something that would work, and within a month he caught the flu and died.
right,
So then John Tyler became the president, and now all we remember about John Tyler was the name of a very nice community college after him.
right. It's a nice college, so
Yes, yes, I've been there. I
yeah,
did a show there, To Kill a Mockingbird.
yeah. I was in that
You
one
were
as
in that.
well.
You were in that.
That's
Yeah.
through the Phantom Players.
Yes,
But
yes,
we did it at the college, but it wasn't through the college.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I played Scout.
and I played one of the nosy neighbors,
Yes.
the gossipy neighbor.
And you thought I was a great actor. You should have seen me play Scout with the pigtails and the overalls, talking like a little girl. No, I played Atticus Finch, and Sadly, there's no video of me doing it. I wish somebody had snuck in a video camera and filmed at least 3 minutes of my performance because that was actually quite proud of that
Yeah.
performance. But there is a lot of still pictures from it taken from and I wear glasses and I try to sound very authoritarian
Right,
and very
right,
very very
right.
good and I play as everyone knows Atticus Finch and I I play. I'm making fun, but the truth is, it was a very serious play,
Yeah,
and it was a wonderful
yeah,
production.
yeah.
And trouble is, when I see the still pictures of me, I had to convince all the producers and everything they weren't getting Martin Short as
Right,
Atticus Finch
right,
or
right.
Tom Cruise as Atticus Finch. They were getting almost as good Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch, but the still pictures are all I have, and I basically look like, as you could probably tell, Stephen Colbert is is Atticus Finch.
Yes, yes.
Gentlemen, do your duty. You know that type of stuff. But it was a great show, and we had a wonderful time. Mary Badham, who
Right.
was actually did play Scout in the movie, play narrated it, and
Yeah,
she played
yeah.
the older Scout, and we had
Right.
a very Cassie, I think was her. No, what was her name?
Um,
Little girl played Scout. She was very good. Cassie's daughter, yeah.
yeah.
And
Abigail was her name.
Abigail,
Yeah,
that's her name. Yeah, she was great.
yeah,
And everyone was great. You were great. Everyone
yeah,
was great.
yeah.
One that's but that was To Kill a Mockingbird, and that was cat as Woodrow Wilson would say, it was capturing lightning in a bottle. There's
Yeah,
nothing better. Well, I mean, there's probably better things, but when you're an actor, than doing a wonderful play and everything just works. Everything works. And every play, and let's face it, it's very hard for a play where I mean, all plays are good because there's just the idea of live theater is good. A
right.
friend of mine told me he's fallen asleep at lots of movies, but he's never fallen asleep during a play because it's right in front of you. How could you not be excited by seeing acting right in front of you? So when you're in a play and you're getting all and doing the best you can and the whole production works out fine, you just go home and you don't even want to go to sleep at that
Yeah,
point. You're
yeah.
just so
It
excited.
keeps you up late too.
Yeah, and not only that, we were in a really good show. Were you in The Little Mermaid?
No, I wasn't with the fanfare.
Well, The Little Mermaid, we did it. Well, it could be any show really, but in this case, with
Yeah,
Little Mermaid, and we were actually upset the last day of doing the show because we had 2 months of rehearsals and learning everything, and we were seeing our friends every day, and
right,
we
right.
couldn't we were sad it was over.
Yeah,
Wish we could keep doing it.
yeah, yeah,
Now, if
yeah,
you're in like a Phantom of the Opera on Broadway right now,
yeah.
you're always guaranteed a job at night
Right,
because it's been
right.
going on for something like what 35 years or something, or
Exactly,
40.
right, right.
Yeah, every few years there's a new all time running show on Broadway, and there was I think one time it was Grease,
Yeah,
one time it was Sound of Music, I think
yeah.
one time it was Fiddler on the Roof, and then it was Cats.
I saw Fiddler on the Roof.
You saw Fiddler on the Roof, and
Yeah,
then and Cat, and now it's a Phantom. Yeah, Phantom Opera has really put it
yeah.
into orbit. I don't know if that'll ever replace that. It's been going on for almost 40 years. The show,
Right,
The
right,
Mousetrap in I think London's West End's been going on since 1960. I don't know when it stopped, but it was going on for the longest time.
right.
Fantastics off
Mm,
Broadway went on for like 30 or 40 years. That was off Broadway, but Fantastics has the most famous song in there. Try to remember the kind of
of
September
September.
that the ones more mellow, yeah. And then, oh, you saw Fiddler on the Roof. When did you see Fiddler on the Roof?
It was like I guess around like about 15 years ago or something
15
like
years ago.
that.
And it was on Broadway or a high school put it on
It
or what?
was a friend of mine that I knew from one of my old churches. She was,
Okay.
I think she played ensemble or something
Yeah,
like
there's a
that.
big ensemble in that
I
show.
think it was for character, something like that.
Yeah, I've never been in it, but my
Yeah.
sister was in a high school production of it, and it's pretty wild.
Oh yeah.
All those especially they have to make the people look
Right.
old. I mean, you're talking about high school students,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
most of the with there's very few exceptions, very few young parts in it. They're all like grandparents and
Right.
older people in it. And so it's kind of weird. See, on stage they looked all right. They looked pretty convincing. And then you see them, after the show, and they had all this makeup on to make them look old. And this is not like the makeup you see like in Star Wars or something. It was rather simple makeup. And what they would
Right.
do is, if you want someone to look old on stage, like in a high school
They draw
production,
like wrinkles. They draw like
they draw in fact, they just crease where if everyone has a little few wrinkles like laugh lines or
yeah,
something,
yeah,
and they'll like mark those a little or shade the thing. I noticed a lot of guys like I've noticed that in the Iron Man movies,
yeah.
Robert Downey will grow his beard with a thin line here to give, even though I don't think he needs it, but a lot of men do this to give themselves a more defined jaw.
Right, right.
It's kind of a weird look because you have the goatee
yeah,
and the sideburns, and then you have that line here.
yeah,
It's probably hard to maintain because when one false move when you're shaving,
yeah.
you
Right.
could miss. But anyway, so like I said, part of
yeah,
being an actor is you have to be, in good shape. I
exactly.
mean, you want to keep in good shape, exercise, eat
Right,
right, and everything. It's
right.
like
Yeah.
training for sports.
Right, exactly. Yes.
You know, famous story about wrinkles was a guy. He was a friend, a longtime friend of Mick Jagger,
Wow.
and Mick Jagger. He hadn't seen Mick Jagger in a while in person. He's seen him on television, but he hadn't seen him in a while. He ran into him, and he said, Mick Jagger was in the 70s at this point. It's not that long ago. So he said, "Boy, have you gotten old." He goes, "What do you mean I've gotten old? I'm doing all right." And he does look pretty good. So he goes, "Boy, have you gotten old." And he goes, "What do you mean I've gotten old?" And he says, "All those wrinkles." And Mick Jagger said, "These aren't wrinkles. These are laugh lines." And the other guy said, "Laugh lines? Nothing could be that funny."
yeah. Yeah. So.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the show when it's called Lessons of the Pandemic. What did you say it was called?
Sto- stories of a pandemic.
Stories of the Pandemic,
Yes, stories of the pandemic.
and starring Mary Elizabeth and her variety.
Yes.
Now, do you sing and dance in it or anything?
I know it's just mostly speaking parts,
Speaking parts, okay,
but you know,
okay.
it's too bad it's not a musical.
Hmm.
But at least this is my first show doing it at a college. So.
Let me tell you, if you're like me, everything is a musical.
Right.
Even when I do a serious part, because then when I do the speech, especially like Shakespeare or something,
Right.
you could almost sing the. Sometimes I try to get a song in my head while I'm doing the dialogue, not a
Right.
song like Mary Had a Little Lamb or something, or
Right.
Happy Birthday, but a song like a tune just to get that rhythm of the speech.
Right.
And sometimes I go like when I played the Wizard of Oz, and in the when you play the Wizard of Oz, there's always that section in the middle where you're the voice of the big head,
Oh wow.
and you have to and you have to give a speech, and you're almost singing the music. The line where he goes, "You, I want Scarecrow." I want the broom of the witch, and you do that. It's almost like you're singing. You just have to learn how to do it, and that's how you do it. Yeah.
yeah.
Luckily, backstage you don't really have to know the words
Right.
because you're
You're
not on
backstage.
stage, so you can read it right off the script. So I never really remembered any of that stuff. So. I'm a very good method actor. I tell you, I
Right.
never learned the other people's dialogue.
Right.
And they say, "Why, you lazy?" And I said, "No. What happens is if I'm that character, then I'm hearing these words for the first time and I'm answering them for the
Right.
first time,
Right. Yeah.
knowing what I should be saying."
Yeah.
Gary Cooper, famous actor, won 2 Oscars, and one for High Noon, one for Sergeant York. He was a good actor. A lot of people didn't give him credit because he played similar parts all the time. But a lot
Right.
of times when you see Gary Cooper, he is he they say, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And he'll think and he'll go. But I always think that well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to get a posse and get when the guys come at noontime. And I mean, but he'd always, and then they'd say, "Well, what if they don't come?" Well, then we're going to have to do it at 12:30. But he'd always pause before that. And it's always like a serious pause he makes, but I always got the idea he was trying to remember his lines. What's my next line? I don't know what type of actor Gary Cooper was as on stage, but we have the movies, so
Right.
we see what he's like. Yeah.
Right. Right.
And so you're all dressed up. I love your necklace,
Thank you so
your
much.
your jewelry and your
Thank
earrings.
you.
Wow, you're
Yeah.
all. I didn't know if it was you or Raquel Welch herself came in. Now, tell me. So tell me a little bit about your necklace. Where'd you get that?
There's this company called Paparazzi,
Mhm.
and they sell jewelry for like $5 a piece.
Yes.
You get like a set with earrings and a necklace
Ah,
together.
and
It's only $5 a piece.
yeah,
Just for like one little
$5 for the earrings and the necklace.
Yes, yes.
All right. You know what I do whenever I buy stuff like that? Like sometimes you'll buy like if you're a man, they'll sell you like a shirt and a tie together,
Uh-huh.
or a shirt and cufflinks together,
Right.
or suspenders and a bow tie together. And I don't ever wear them together. I just
Oh,
take my box of bow ties, my box of suspenders, my box of neckties, and just throw them separately and everything, and I just mix
yeah.
and match that way. Yeah. Pocket
Yes.
squares,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it becomes you very well. So you
Thank
look.
you.
Yeah, I always like people look their best, especially when they appear on television, because we want to. People are gonna. People want to be impressed by how you look, and
Right.
a lot of how I dress, I have copied from the best I've seen in other people. So I always say, well, there's a guy, I like the way he wore that. He wore that earring and bolt through his tongue.
Right.
I
Yeah.
like how he matched them together with the chain.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna try that maybe tomorrow.
Yes. If anybody needs a paparazzi consultant, I'll recommend you to a few people.
Oh, I didn't know you sold the stuff.
I
You're an
don't
agent?
I don't sell it, but some of my friends do.
Okay, okay.
So
She'll
I usually support them.
just message in the
Just just
wherever you see this wonderful
yeah,
show.
yeah, just message me and I'll hook you up with some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you need some jewelry, she could hook you up. That's always like people who can hook me up. Now, last time we did this wonderful show a couple weeks ago, we talked about your record collection,
Yes.
and I see
Mhm.
that I think we did about 3 or 4 records. And
Yeah.
how many hundred more do we have to do?
I mean, we got
We can do this show for almost forever because
yeah.
once we run out of your record albums, we got my record albums.
Exactly. Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
show me one of your record albums. Well, tell me a little bit about it.
The first one I'm going to show you is Ray Conniff. Have you heard of Ray Conniff?
Oh yeah.
He's kind of like a kind of like a instrumental. Sometimes he has chorus and all that
Hmm.
with people singing.
Yeah, it's the Ray Conniff singers I
Yes,
know of. Yeah,
yes,
I don't really know a whole lot about Ray Conniff himself,
yes,
but he had a lot. He was very popular in the 1960s.
yeah,
During the time of rock and roll, he gave people an alternative. I remember these record albums because they had these big stereo written on or
yes,
stereophonic, and they were very fancy. You would play them at home,
right,
and they were sort of like music in a sense that they were background music.
right, right,
You were supposed to play it and then have a party or have dinner or something and not really pay too much attention to the
right.
music. The music was usually popular songs and everything. What are like some of the songs in there you like?
Yeah, this album is called "Say It with Music."
Mm-hmm.
I have a few more Ray Conniff, in my stash as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm showing you this one for now. And it plays like a conga type of like Spanish music. It's a really beautiful album.
Ole.
And I'll tell you the songs that's on it.
Yeah, tell me a couple of your favorite songs on there.
Besame Mucho,
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Stranger in Paradise.
Yeah, that's originally a song from Borodine's Polivetsian dances. And
Right.
if you actually, it's kind of weird because Stranger in Paradise, of course, Tony Bennett had a hit with that. You'll be like at a classical music show, like the Boston Pops or
Right,
something,
right.
and they'll play that because it's very popular,
Yeah,
and it's all these really great music
right.
by Borodin, Russian composer. And then all of a sudden you hear "Stranger in Paradise." Hey, I know that's I know that song. That's a Tony Bennett song.
Yeah. Summertime?
Oh yeah, Gershwin song.
Yeah. I've got you under my skin.
Yes.
Too young.
Hmm.
Softly as in a morning sunrise.
Yes, that's actually a "Softly as a Morning Sunrise" is actually I think a Yiddish or Hebrew song, but I mean it's in English, the English lyrics, but originally the music is I think originally a Hebrew song.
Right, right.
Yeah,
And just one of those things.
yeah. I got a couple of Cole Porter on there, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Cold Water. I have some Cold
Oh,
Water
oh
right
yeah.
there too. Deep Purple.
Oh, I love that rock and roll band Deep Purple. They were so good. Smoke on the Water. No,
Well,
Deep Purple is was a popular song in the day. Is that
Deep Purple.
when the deep
Deep
purple
Purple.
da, 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 da. I only know the instrumental.
Right, right.
So I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm like a hummingbird.
yeah. Also, Brazil.
Oh yeah, Brazil is so good. Yeah, Brazil. You know, Brazil is one of the few Brazilian songs that actually is a Brazilian song. It actually comes from Brazil. A lot of songs we think of as Brazilian songs are actually like "Begin to Begin" and stuff like that.
Right.
They're actually made written in America
Yeah.
by Cole Porter. Yeah.
Yeah. Night and day.
Hmm.
Night and day. Day and night.
Yeah, Night and Day is the best.
Yeah. Temptation.
Yeah,
And then say it with music.
Say it with music.
So
Yes,
these
I
are
know
all the
all those
songs.
songs.
These are
Yeah,
all the songs that are in the
on
album.
that
Yeah.
song, on that album, it
Yeah.
sounds like a good album.
Yeah.
Ray Conniff.
Yeah, they might have
Yeah,
this album, you can listen to it on YouTube.
yeah,
Sometimes they have full albums on YouTube
yeah.
that you can listen to. So I recommend you look this up, okay?
What I do on iTunes or anything on the internet like that, I usually just listen to the one song I want to hear, and then if I like that one song, then I listen to all the songs. You
Right,
know, it's kind of neat. I think on Amazon, if you want to buy a CD, certain CDs they actually give you like 10, 20, or 30 seconds of the song, so you know you can actually listen to know
right.
what you're in for
Yeah,
before you buy it, which
right.
is great because that's what I want to tell you about was when I well, you can put that down. When I was buying all these LPs in
Hmm.
the I guess 1980s, 1990s,
Right,
and they were selling about this time CDs have replaced them. So CDs you could get them at a pretty good price at used record stores because
right,
used record stores what people forgot about LPs or realized about LPs
right,
was that you had to buy a LP new because if you bought them at a yard sale or a thrift store or something, it was warped. It was scratchy.
right,
It would skip, especially on the good songs or ones at the beginning.
right,
Now CDs were the technology was that they were good all the way through and they didn't mess up all that much.
right, right,
And then what was really weird was people found out a way with things like Napster and iTunes and all these things
right,
how to burn their own CD. And people were actually very upset that they had to give up their record collections to buy CDs now.
right.
And somebody called burning your CD the revenge of vinyl.
I remember when I used to shop at bars years ago.
Hmm.
All I wanted to do is just get a CD.
Yeah.
I ordered a lot of CDs through them.
Oh, yeah.
And
They're
now,
very expensive, I remember. Like
yeah,
they're still around. They're still very expensive.
yeah.
I
But
don't have $25 to buy a CD.
exactly. I like mostly records now.
Yeah.
I like them more than CDs.
They have that they have that
I like the
good
nostalgic
bass.
sound.
They have
Yeah.
that good downbeat to them. That
Right.
the CDs, according to I don't think it matters with modern music 'cause it kind of bypassed all that LP stuff. But
Right.
if you bought anything from the day that was an LP and then you heard the CD version, even though the CD version was fine, it had a tinny sound and it had sort of like a transistor radio sound. There was no like bass to it. And people like the bass. People like like I said, the downbeat, on things.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, not to say it couldn't have it on the CD, but for many people, it sounded better on the LP. So anyway, I would so they so they lowered the prices at a lot of these places of their CDs and also of their used CDs. And certain places, used record stores and stuff would have like these bargains on like Wednesdays or Tuesdays or something where you could buy them for a couple of dollars
Yeah,
less. So I
yeah.
was paying in the day something like $6 for really good CDs. And they were usually sold for $8.
Right.
The unused ones, the new ones were $16. Even that
Right.
was too expensive. $8
Right.
was plenty. $6 was over the top.
Right.
But $6 was great. And I remember they had these listening systems where you could listen to the on headphones. You would plug it into a machine, a CD machine, CD player,
Right.
and there was no speakers.
Right.
You just had the headphones and you listened to it, and you could see if you wanted to buy the CD first,
Right.
or you bought it blind, or, or I don't know what the opposite of deaf, buy deaf
Right.
from the all in the cellophane and everything. So what happened was a lot of the record stores did not want you listening to the CDs before you bought them because they thought, well, if he hears the CD and doesn't like it, then he won't buy it. But as it turns out, the more you listen to a lot of these things, the more you bought.
Yeah.
And stuff I never would have bought, I listened to on the at least a couple of the
Right.
songs on there and see how it played.
Mhm.
And then I bought it, and now I have probably more CDs than I have anything.
Right.
The neckties maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they bring me and every record or CD or even tape I made has brought me a lot of joy because you can't really put a price. I make jokes about $16, $8, whatever. You can't really put a price on your favorite music because you get so much out of it playing it over and over again and maybe coming back to it maybe years later sometimes.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. So thanks for showing me Ray Conniff. What's
Yeah.
next?
Absolutely. We have Sarah Vaughan.
Oh yeah.
She's awesome. I did a book report on her when I was in middle school, when I was in
Hmm.
eighth grade,
Hmm.
because we were in chorus class and we had to study like jazz artists, and then I picked they picked Sarah Vaughan for me. So
They picked Sarah Vaughan for you. Did you ever
yeah,
hear of Sarah Vaughan before?
not before that, but I got into her since I studied her years
Hmm.
ago. So and she sounded really great. And,
I remember first time I ever heard Sarah Vaughan was at a jazz station.
right.
She was of that type with Ella Fitzgerald and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
um,
Billie Holiday,
Billie Holiday. Yeah, she
things
was popular around
stuff
that
like
same
that.
time, but
Yeah,
she wasn't as popular as they are. But
yeah,
she had her own style, and Sarah Vaughan, she had. This shows you how kind of recent it was. It was, I mean, for her, it wasn't the 1950s or so when she was popular. It was 1980s. She had
oh wow.
I think probably one of her first big hits was "Sending the Clowns."
Oh, okay.
"Sending the Clowns" is the most famous song written by um, Stephen Sondheim, and
Right,
it's from A
right.
Little Night Music. And "Sending the Clowns." Oh, let me tell you about Stephen Sondheim. Stephen Sondheim wrote "Into the Woods" and lots of other great shows.
Yes,
He still
I
writes.
love Stephen Sondheim.
Stephen Sondheim and West Side Story, of course. But the stuff he's written by himself, he purposely, he's even said this in interviews. He doesn't want people humming his songs going home. He doesn't want people. He wants it kind of jumbled up, and
Right,
thus they're only basically you could hear the soundtrack album,
right,
but the songs don't really translate well into the popular culture like a
right,
Rodgers and Hammerstein
right,
song would
right,
or
right.
Gershwin song
Yes.
would. So what happened was either Sarah Vaughan, around the same time, Sarah Vaughan and Frank Sinatra recorded their version of "Sending the Clowns," and that became, oh, here's a song that stands by itself. That's Stephen Sondheim, and he's kind of ambivalent that it became a big hit. I guess once the checks came, royalty checks came
Right,
in, he kind of changed his mind.
right,
But
right,
uh, but even to this day, he does not write popular songs. Songs, they're all good songs, but they're adequate for the show. But that is Stephen Sondheim's biggest hit. Now is "Sending the Clowns" on that one?
yes.
That's on there. Yeah.
It's got that old black magic.
Oh yeah.
Careless,
Careless, yeah.
Separate Ways,
Mm-hmm.
Are You Certain,
Mm-hmm.
Mary Contrary,
There she is.
yep,
Song about you.
yes, Broken Hearted Melody,
Yes.
I've Got the World on the String,
Mm-hmm.
I Can Sing a Rainbow, yeah,
Yeah.
Don't Look at Me That Way,
Mm-hmm.
Love is a Random Thing,
Mm-hmm.
Friendly Enemies, What's So Bad About It, and Sweet Affection.
Yes. Well, you know what? Most of those songs I've heard of.
Yeah.
This a few of those songs I have. Let me see what's on there. They are. Let's see. They are, but they're good. Old Black Magic.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. There you go. I got. Well, yeah. I see. This is what year is this? This is an old album.
I think it was like around the 50s,
The
maybe?
50s.
50s,
Yeah. So here we go.
around there.
Nice cartoon of her on the
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
She
I'll
used
show
to come.
you.
She used to come to Richmond quite a bit to the like the
Mhm.
Richmond Pops.
Right.
Richmond Symphony. She play sing with the Richmond Symphony. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw quite a few people that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who's next?
Yeah. This is Rod Stewart.
Oh yeah, Rod Stewart.
This is a good album.
Yeah, Rod
It
Stewart is always
has
pretty good. I'm
it
trying to
has
get the glare off of these things here. Now, let's look at the back on here. And he autographed it for you too. It's really nice.
yeah.
When did you? When did you? No, they didn't know it. It's somebody wrote something here, but with a pencil. Yeah. Now, any big hits on that? Because you know Rod Stewart's had a lot of hits. What's on there?
Tonight I'm yours,
Oh
don't
yeah.
hurt me. Only a boy, just like a woman. How long? Never give up on a dream. Jealous. Tour, out with the boys. Young Turks, tear it up, and Sunny.
There you go. There you go.
So,
Tonight's the Night's on there. What'd you
no.
say was on there? What's the first song?
Young Turk,
No,
Young
it's the
Turk.
first song you said.
Oh, tonight I'm yours.
Oh, Tonight I'm
Don't
yours. Okay,
hurt
that's
me.
what I got. That's the
Yes,
one I was thinking. Yeah.
yes. So, this is
And
Rod
was
Stewart.
this a solo album or when he was with Faces? He had a band.
Oh, really? I didn't know
He had a group, and a lot
And,
of this his first big hits were with his band Faces,
hmm,
and also in that band, a long time a collaborator with Rod Stewart is Ron Wood, and when
oh,
Faces broke up, I was it Brian Jones or somebody of the Rolling Stones um, um, left the Rolling Stones, and
oh,
he
okay.
replaced
That
them. Yeah,
makes sense.
Mick Taylor maybe,
Okay.
and I don't really when I think of the Rolling Stones, all I think of is Mick Jagger. As far
Yeah.
and Keith, contributing stuff. I don't know what the other guys do. They're there and they're important, but I always felt that without Keith or Mick, it's not the Rolling Stones.
Right. Yeah, I got
And they
you.
can replace those. And Ron Wood replaced, I think Mick Taylor maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I also got a few more Rod Stewart albums back
Yeah.
then.
Hey, Rod Stewart, I know you like old music. Rod Stewart has a bunch of albums. The Great American Songbook, where he sings like
Oh
Sarah
yeah,
Vaughan
my
type music.
grandfather had those when
Your
he
grandfather had them.
yeah, he had CDs. And at first he was here so funny.
Yeah.
When he first heard Rod Stewart, he thought he sounded like a girl.
Yeah. He looks like
That's like freaking hilarious.
he has
It's
long
like,
hair like
what?
a girl.
He does kind of sound like a girl in a way, but I didn't really realize. I just kind of went along with the singing, but instead my grandfather started saying that he sounded like a girl.
Well,
So.
let me tell you something about these old timers, like your
Yeah.
grandfather,
Yeah.
or like my older brother.
Yeah.
No, these old timers, if they really don't like somebody,
Yeah.
they're kind of that way, and
Yeah.
they always have to say, "Well, he sounds like a girl,"
Right.
as if that's a pejorative. When actually, if you sing like a girl, it's
Yeah.
good. I
I
mean, a good voice is a good voice.
like Rod Stewart. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, some guy was just hearing him. I remember somebody was telling me, an old guy when I was growing up, some old neighbor didn't know. I was playing American Pie over and over again, and he said,
Oh.
he sounds like a girl.
Ah.
But he didn't mean that, oh, he sounds like a girl, like a melodious. No, he didn't like the way that guy sang.
Yeah.
And and I wish I could, woo. Oh, I got stuck with the deep voice, but it works. It works for me.
Yeah.
Now, now, look at and look at this guy's hair. I mean, yeah, of course he saw that long hair and he said he sings like a girl. Let me
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I mean, I grew up like there was a lot of long hair, like the
Yeah.
Beatles and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and they all had long hair.
Yeah. My dad used to have long hair back in the
Yeah,
day.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. So then I always wanted long hair,
Oh.
but being a kid, you can't really have long hair, so you have to always get it cut. And let me tell you something. When I was growing up, you had to get these crew cuts that were awful, these flat tops. And there were only two types. The joke goes there were only two types of people with those haircuts,
Right.
and that was serial killers and little boys. A California serial killer. Whenever they arrest them, on the run, they always have that crew cut. And so anyway, so I have like all these sisters, and so we went to someone's house and some guy didn't like. He was a friend of my. He wasn't a friend of my father's. He was a friend of somebody, and I don't know who he was a friend of. I don't think he had any friends his own age. He had a lot of kids, so he had to create his own
Right.
kid.
Right.
A lot of people they always realize when you see a big family, a lot of those people, the adults in the family, the mother and father, they don't have any friends.
Right.
All their they created their friends to live with them. So anyway, this guy, and I'm just like a 10 years old or something. I'm trying to get my hair long. It actually was shorter than this, but in those days it looked long. I mean, it looked long
Right.
for a little boy. So my sisters and the guy says, "Yeah, you have a nice family. Yeah, you have five girls."
What?
And my
Oh.
dad just thought that was hilarious. And he says, "Hey, Kevin, he thinks you're a girl. I think you need a haircut." And basically, I said, I don't really care what that jerk says. In fact, I am flattered by his insults. Now, if Albert Einstein or somebody or Stephen Hawking said that I don't look right, then it probably don't look right. But if a jerk like that
Right.
thinks I should, and all of his kids, gosh, all of his kids, I don't even think he took them to the barber. I think he just put the Burma shave on their heads,
Right.
and the razor,
Right.
and the electric, and the Norelco razor on it. Just
Right.
every day, just
Right.
a family full of Mr. Cleans. All he needed was an earring. What is this? A road company of Kojak the musical? Yeah. So there you go. So yeah. So that Rod Stewart. Let me get back to that Great American Songbook. A lot of people never really listened to Rod Stewart until he did those recordings. So then I have those where he sings the old time
Oh yeah.
Gershwin songs and
Yeah,
stuff
they're
like that.
good.
They
Yeah,
are
they're
good,
good.
and what the crazy thing is that when I bring them up to Rod Stewart fans, say, hey, I got some Rod Stewart. I got him singing all those Irving Berlin and Gershwin songs and Roger Ham songs. Those are the albums I don't listen to.
See, my grandfather, I don't think my grandfather ever really heard Rod Stewart till he listened to those songbooks he
Yeah,
did, and he started to like them a little bit. But
yeah.
it was
He's a
funny
good
that,
singer.
yeah, he is.
I mean, he actually sings those songs quite well. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it was funny at the one part where he was like, he sounds like a
He
girl.
sounds like a girl. She wears some lipstick
So,
and
yeah.
mascara.
Oh, Lord.
Probably does.
Yeah, so you ready for the next one?
All right.
All right. Air Supply.
Oh, yeah. Air Supply from Australia. Yeah.
They were really good. Like
Yeah.
early 80s.
Two guys.
Yeah. At first, I thought it was a woman that was singing.
Again with the women.
Yeah. So
All these men are putting the female singers out of business.
at first I thought
No wonder
One of
women are
them
always
sounded
complaining
like
about
a
not
girl.
enough in the workplace for them to do it.
Exactly. I thought one of them sounded like a girl.
Sound like a girl.
But I found out there were two men, so.
Two men. Two men
So,
singing love songs
but yeah,
to each other.
but they're still good. So
Air Supply, I'm all out of love.
yeah.
Now these are the greatest hits.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
rattle them off for me. The greatest hits of Air Supply.
Lost in Love.
Okay.
Even the Nights Are Better.
Mm-hmm.
The Way That You Love.
Mm-hmm.
Making Love Out of Nothing at All. Sweet Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
All Out of Love. Every Woman in the World. Here I Am. Chances.
Chances. Yes, yes. They're all fine songs, and if you want to get started with your Air Supply collection, start with this album because it
Yeah.
has everything you want to start with Air Supply. And if
Exactly.
I know people that just love Air Supply. That's like their favorite all-time singing group. Yeah.
Right.
So Air Supply, yeah.
Okay. All right.
One last thing about Air Supply. Every time I went to anyone's apartment or in a dorm room in college, every woman had Air Supply records. They had Air Supply records, and they had Muppet posters,
Oh yeah.
Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog and Fozzie Bear. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just. I mean that was my that is what I remember so much about. I had like posters of like Susan Anton and Farrah Fawcett Majors. Wonder Woman. Oh, we just loved Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She was the
Wonder Woman
best.
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean Linda Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. My dad liked her back in the day too.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something about Wonder Woman. Linda Carter's Wonder
Yeah.
Woman. She was so good at Wonder Woman. It took a long of all the superheroes to make movies about. It took the longest to make a new Wonder Woman. I mean, the
Right.
Batman they had pretty fast,
Right.
and Superman and everything. They had no problem replacing Adam West or George Reeves or any of these
Right.
people. But then it took a long time to replace Linda Carter because Linda Carter was so good.
Yeah. I guess she was the best one around.
She was
So.
indispensable, and Linda Carter was also um, yeah, and what's weird is when you think of Linda Carter, you can't think of anything but Wonder Woman. When you think of Wonder Woman in the day, all you could think about is Linda Carter. They were
Right.
like, it's almost like she really was Wonder Woman.
Right.
Adam West was an actor,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the George Reeves was an actor, but no, she really was Wonder Woman.
Right. Exactly.
I gotta tell you a funny story about Wonder Woman. My she's her name is Diana Prince, you know, and
Oh.
when she's like a secretary or like working for the army or something,
Yeah.
she wears a suit and she wears glasses and her hair
Right.
is up and
Right.
she doesn't look like one like you would. And then then all of a sudden she becomes Wonder Woman with the lasso, and she breaks out of her real clothes and she's in that costume, you know, with the basically a bathing suit is what she's wearing. She's running around in this
Yeah.
bathing suit
Yeah.
that shows everything, and so I said, how come? And she doesn't wear her glasses.
Yeah.
So I said, how come? How stupid are those people that when Diana Prince is when as Wonder Woman and walking around in her bathing suit and everything, they don't recognize. Hey, isn't that the woman from the back office in the outfit with the glasses and everything? And my sister Kelly said, let me tell you something about Wonder Woman. When she's wearing that costume, nobody is looking at her face. She's right. What does she look like? I don't know what she looked like, but I know what she was wearing. Running around in her underwear, in her red, white, blue underwear. Very patriotic.
Right.
All right, here we go.
Teamwork.
Oh, all right. Oh, I know this one. Yeah,
Boston.
Boston. This was a big hit, and I
That's a
remember.
good album too.
Yeah, I remember not only the record album, but I remember there was posters of this everywhere, the psychedelic look, and with the
Yeah.
spaceship up here,
Right.
which actually, if you look closely, is a guitar.
Oh.
Do you know that?
I didn't recognize that.
It's
part.
they're all three of these are guitars.
Oh, I see. Like the bottom
Yeah,
guitars there.
yeah.
And all that
It's an
stuff.
upside down guitar, all
Right.
painted up.
I
Yeah,
didn't recognize that. I thought it was just like
yeah.
a spaceship.
See what you learn on this show?
Yeah.
More Than a Feeling
Exactly.
is on there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Boston.
Yeah.
Boston. So many people talk about Boston like as their favorite band when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I only know like their hits. I was never really into like that heavy metal type music. I
Yeah.
was more into stuff I could sing along to.
Yeah.
I know a lot of
Yeah.
guys that are into heavy metal, and I know guys that were in heavy metal bands in high school,
Mhm.
and they joined like a lot of guys. They joined bands to get a lot of girlfriends and stuff, and they were very upset when they were in heavy metal bands that their only fans were like teenage boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like the Wayne's World
Yeah.
type,
Yeah.
Wayne,
Yeah.
Garth, and that all of
Right.
them were clones of Wayne and Garth. They were basically that
Uh,
type. There were no girls, no girl. If any girls that were at one of those shows,
right.
their boyfriends dragged them there,
Yeah.
and you see these guys just going like that, and the girlfriend like this. So, what is this?
Okay.
Can we leave early? Oh, there's
Okay.
going to be an encore.
Yeah. So
But Boston, yeah, Boston was quite the band. Yes.
yeah, I can read the song.
Oh, read some of those songs.
More
Some of
than a feeling,
okay.
peace of mind,
Hmm.
foreplay, long time,
Hmm.
rock and roll band, smoking, hitch a ride, something about you, and let me take you home tonight.
There you go. The
So
best of Boston.
exactly. I actually have another Boston album.
Yeah.
That's kind of similar to this picture, but I think it's the second one or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this one is more popular, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
So
They're from Providence, right?
yeah, yeah. But I
They're
don't
from Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Both of them are good. I like
Yeah.
both of my Boston albums. So
Yeah. There you go.
yeah.
Never listen to a never listen to any band after the third album.
Right.
They've run out of creativity at that point.
Yeah.
Elvis Costello said it takes you 20 years to do your first album. It takes you six. Then you're expected after 6 months to do your second album.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why it's all so rushed and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This
Oh, now this is something.
the number one hits of the '60s.
Yes.
It's got various artists, like
Yeah.
different songs that came
Yeah.
out
Let
on
me.
one of
They're all listed on here. In this, the Wonder Bread company made this. The Wonder Bread. In fact, I think there's a Wonder Bread still in here. I think some mayonnaise and, and cottage cheese is in it. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, there's a lot of. We can't read all of these because there's probably how many songs? Probably about 100 songs on
Well,
here.
it's like I think
There's about 10 songs. There's 4 albums. Eight. There's okay. If there's like 5 or 6 songs on a side, probably more than that, and then there's 4 albums, 8 sides. So there's at least 50 songs on here.
yeah,
So
I
all
think it's
certified.
like a like
But why don't you read this and tell me
100.
some of your favorite songs on there? They're all great. They're all great songs you should recognize. Tell me a few of them that you like.
My favorites are "Tighten Up" by Archie Bell and the Drells.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and "Summer in the City" by the
Oh,
Loving Spoonful.
oh, Summer in the City. Yeah.
Yes,
That the Lovin' Spoonful is so good. Yeah.
and also "The Letter" by the Box Top.
Oh, the letter. The guy who sings the letter. Wasn't he something like only 14 years old? But he had that deep voice. Give me a ticket for an air.
I did not
Yeah,
know
he
that
was a
was
young
his voice.
guy.
Was it? I did not know
They
that.
were they were like a middle school band, not even a. But
Wow.
then I only know the one song by them. But yeah, but it's a good write a song.
See, I learn something new every
She
day.
yes,
Yes.
and I'll tell you another song on there.
There's also one called 96 Tears by
Oh yeah, by question mark
the
and the
Mysterians.
Mysterians.
Yes.
Yes, yes. That whose question? Who is that? We always were wondering who that is. A lot of the songs, like you mentioned, some of the bands on there only had the one hit song.
Right, right.
And but the joke I always make is that when they perform now in these nostalgia tours, they you do a 2 hour show and everyone's waiting for the last song, which is their only hit.
And also, Everything is Beautiful by Ray Stevens.
Ray Stevens is still going strong. He does videos on the internet and
I
with
think he's
songs.
about 80 years old or something.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But he's actually fallen out of disfavor because he is yeah, I think during the Obama administration he was recording a lot of funny but rather pointed anti-Obama songs about like Obamacare and stuff like that,
Right.
and which is weird because he was rather popular guy
Yeah.
and had did very well, was very popular live and everything. But you know, a lot of times if you he's almost like the opposite of Cat Stevens.
Right.
If you put anything up there, you're going to get all these comments down saying, "Why do you put that jerk on there? I don't like him. Do you know what they stands for?" That type of thing. So that's Ray Stevens. But Ray Stevens was great with the first song about streaking. He cashed in on that, the streak, and some of the songs are so good. The guitar Zan, and
Yeah.
everything is beautiful.
I
He
have.
wrote lots of good songs, novelty songs, and you know straightforward type
Yeah.
love songs.
I have an album by him that is his greatest hit.
Yeah,
It was like his early stuff, like Get Tarzan
yeah.
and
His
yeah,
Ahab, the Arab, and
yeah, I
stuff.
got that one.
But there was
And
one song he did actually in late in his career, probably back in the '80s, which I still get a kick
the
out of.
Squirrel
The
Revival.
squirrel, the
I don't have
Mississippi
that.
Squirrel Revival. Yeah, and that
Lord,
is
have
so funny.
mercy on me.
Anyone who's been in one of those charismatic churches
I don't have that
knows
song.
knows it pretty much hits every it's every mark. Every
Yeah,
cliche you
it's
assume about it,
hilarious.
it's in there, and it's a very good song. So I
Right,
recommend that. So I recommend anything by Ray Stevens. Go
yeah,
with a clear mind and listen to him. Yeah.
right,
Who else?
right. It's
What else is
called
on there?
Hang On Sloopy by the McCoys.
Hang on, Sloopy. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember all these songs.
Yeah. Happy Together by the Turtles.
Oh, the Turtles, Flo and Eddie. They had another hit called Eleanor, but you know they're still quite popular, and they sing backup for a lot of singers. They don't call themselves the Turtles; they call themselves Flo and Eddie because of the two guys' names too.
Right,
And you sometimes even a couple of Bruce Springsteen albums, they're in the background vocals, which is kind of neat.
right.
Oh, those guys, those old guys, they're from the Turtles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They actually they were on the Ed Sullivan show in the day.
Right, right. And Green Tambourine by the Lemon Pepper.
Green Tambourine, yes. Yeah.
And Indian Reservation by the Raiders.
By Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Yes.
Oh, they were so cool. They
Cherokee people,
yeah.
Cherokee tribe, so proud to live, so proud to die.
They were great. The Paul Revere and actually dressed up in like revolutionary
Oh
uniforms
yes,
from the
yeah,
Revolutionary
on
War
the
and
that
powdered
song
wigs and
called.
everything. And they were good too. I
Yeah,
mean,
I like
they
that
had
one.
that gimmick, but and I don't even remember any of their songs being all that
There's a song called Just Like Me
about the
about it.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah, man.
Paul Revere.
Yeah, just like
You know, speaking
me.
of Paul Revere, some of the people out right now are such anti um I don't know, they seem to be so anti-government and anti constitutionalist that you wonder if 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 the same thing happened, you know, with the Revolutionary War, if they would have just yelled at Paul Revere, "Go back home. We don't
Ah,
want to hear it."
right. Yeah, right.
I'm glad these people weren't around. A lot of the people I meet today, I'm glad they weren't around when Paul Revere was on his magic ride.
Yeah.
Don't you see we're trying to get some sleep here?
Right,
We
right.
don't care. The British are coming good.
Yeah.
They are they're our friends.
Right.
All right. And it's got let's see what I don't I guess we'll do a couple of shows before Halloween, but have you gotten into Halloween yet?
Yes, I decorated outside my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got pumpkins in my porch and that light up and Halloween lights on some bushes and everything. I love
Yes. I never tell my Halloween costume until the day of the
it.
Halloween
Right.
of day of Halloween, or maybe the first party I go to might be the Saturday before Halloween.
Hmm.
And the reason why is I always get these great ideas to do costumes, and and then I'm always afraid that if I tell somebody, oh, I'm going to be George Washington, then I show up at a party kind of looking like George Washington, but someone else said, you know, that George Washington idea was great, and he looks great with the with the boots and the and the shirt and everything and the lacy collar and everything. So, oh man, I I can't compete with that. But if I'm the only George Washington there, then that's great. So I don't know. I remember a few years ago I went to karaoke night, and it was happened to be on Halloween, and I dressed up as Elton John.
Oh,
Elton
you came
John,
over to my house,
yeah,
and I gave you some candy.
that's right. I was trick or treating.
And I was like a punk rocker kind of
Yes,
lady.
you were Kiki D, I think. I was Elton John. Now Elton John, what was kind of neat was when I went to karaoke, you would see a guy dressed as Elvis doing like a Frank Sinatra song,
Yeah.
or a guy dressed as Rod Stewart doing uh, doing a Paul Revere and the Raiders song. So I said, I'm Elton John. I'm going to be singing an Elton John song. I think I sang Crocodile Rock. That was the most accessible Elton, yeah, Elton John song that anyone could sing. That's pretty good. That's the first song I ever heard of by Elton John.
Yeah, I remember one time.
Well, I mean, I know them all now, but at the time that was the first thing that piqued my interest.
I remember when me and my cousins and all of them were kind of listening to that song, and my uncle was kind of like making fun the way Elton John was like la 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 la. He kind of like sung along type of thing. I guess it was pretty
I
funny.
like that in a song.
Yeah.
I tell you what I like about that part, la 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 la, or any song that goes la 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 la, is that, oh, I don't know, I don't need to memorize any words. I can just la 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 la.
Yeah.
Now, you were talking about Ella Fitzgerald, and there's certain performers like Mel Torme, and there's one popular guy, John Pizzarelli in jazz, and they'll sing popular songs, and then all of a sudden they'll start doing that scat music.
Cab
Cab
Calloway does all that stuff
Calloway.
too. Yeah.
Well, it was invented scat singing, which is basically just gibberish or humming or whatever you want to call it. Echolalia. Satchmo, Louis Armstrong,
Yes.
couldn't remember the words of a certain song, so he just started, and then that became, the people said, we want to hear more of that. But let me tell you something, and I made this clear on a few shows. Is that scat singing is not all that hard. It's much harder to remember the words and sing it properly. Anyone could do it. I could do it, and I'm not. I'm a non-singer. I like to sing, but I think people. Uh, I'm sure the songwriter, the lyricist, says, "Hey, can you stick to the words?" I didn't slave over a piano and try to get the right words just so you go beep it like Ella. I mean, Ella always had that finale with her scat singing. She would break a glass. Then it would shatter like in is it Live or Memorex? Remember those commercials with Ella?
Oh, yeah, I remember there was a commercial that came out in the mid-90s.
Yeah, with Ella. Well, Ella was in the 80s. I mean, they had all these ads. Yeah, and they would break a glass.
There was like a lady, it was like Reese's Pieces commercial.
Oh,
The
Reese.
lady was standing on top of the piece of Reese's Pieces,
Yeah,
like peanut butter cup.
yeah.
And then she was like, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups! And then the Reese's Pieces Butter Cups were like burst.
They burst.
That was freaking hilarious. I think it came out like in 1993 or 94 or something like that.
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces and M&Ms. I love those are like my favorite M&Ms.
Right.
So whenever I got an M&Ms, I didn't even tell people I had them. I just want to eat them because I rarely got candy growing up, but I loved M&Ms. And I eat one at a time. I'd have one in my mouth for like 20 minutes. I just kept it. I just didn't want it to go away. Then somebody told me that they used to go to the movie theaters, and when the movie was boring, they would take their M&Ms or their Reese's Pieces or their Jordan almonds or their Raisinets or their Goobers or something and start throwing them at people in the back of the head. And I said, what a waste of good candy. I would never think of throwing. Maybe Brussels sprouts I would have thrown at them. Something I didn't like.
Right.
But M&Ms, M&Ms. I mean, I can't eat enough of those. I wish I was eating them right now. I wish I could spend my whole day eating M&Ms. You know, that's what being an adult is all about. I tell people what it's like, and I said, well, what's your life like? And I said, I'll tell you what my life is like compared to when I was a kid. I I uh, I eat candy all day, and I watch cartoons all night. Perfect life.
Yeah.
I always wanted it as a kid, and that's how I'm living it now. Living large now.
Oh yeah.
I had a wonderful time.
Good. I'm glad you. Yeah. I'll be showing some more record albums, in the next show.
Don't threaten us.
Because I have a lot more.
You have a lot more. I can't wait to hear them. I can't wait to hear them. By the way, all these albums, like I said, I'm just kidding. All of there's bits of them on the internet, so be sure to find them and have a listen to. If you're
Yeah.
not familiar, because part of like what we do is we want to educate.
Right.
You remember like Blockbuster Video? There was in the day you would rent a video or a DVD, and they all the new stuff was on the walls, and
Yeah.
in the middle they had the old stuff that nobody seemed to care about.
Right.
But all that old stuff in the middle, which was discounted, was the stuff I wanted to watch. And the same here. You could do your. It's good to do the stuff you're familiar with, but it's always good if it doesn't cost you anything and you have 20 minutes. Try something new. As far as listening to music or and you'd be surprised how better your life will be enriched.
Right. Right.
So I've been doing a few shows like this, and this was joyful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Anytime. You know.
So, do you have some final word for
I
us,
just wanted to
Mrs.
say.
Springer?
Yeah. I just wanted to say. I hope you all have a nice evening, and may God bless you all. And if I can recommend you to some, to some, $5 jewelry, like I said earlier. I know we've already said that.
We have a sponsor
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. So anyway, just you know.
They pay us. They pay us in Tarnex. They get the tarnish off off their silver.
So anyway, you all in my prayers, and God bless you all.
What's the name of the show again?
Thank you for tuning in to Mary Elizabeth Jones's Variety Hour. God bless.
Good night.
Good night.